Good afternoon. It is now 12:06 p.m. and we will call the Audit and Finance Subcommittee of Valley Metro to order. Pat, can we take roll call now, please?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Councilmember Max White, City of Avondale.
Present.
Councilmember Peggy McMahon, Town of Fountain Hills.
Present.
Councilmember Laura Pastor, City of Phoenix. Councilmember Jennifer Adams, City of Tempe.
Present.
And Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis from the City of Tolleson.
Here.
Chair, we have a quorum and we can proceed.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Mayor Bratcher for joining us online as well. Thank you so much for being here. If a committee member would like to ask a question or make a comment during the meeting, please type your comment in the box and it will be read aloud and answered. All meeting attendees, please mute your computer, microphone, and/or telephones. Moving to item number 1, public comment. The public will be provided with an opportunity at this time to address the committee on non-agenda items and all action items for the joint RPTA and VMR meeting agendas. Up to 3 minutes will be provided per speaker unless the chair allows more at the discretion. A total of 15 minutes for all speakers will be provided. Pat, do we have any public comment?
No, ma'am, not today.
Okay, thank you. Moving to item number 2, Chief Financial Officer's report. This I'll turn over to CFO Ken Kessler for this report. Mr. Kessler?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. Do want to report on today our sales tax revenues, the Regional Public Transportation Fund sales tax revenues through the end of April. We are at about 2% over prior year actuals and just under 2% below budget so far through April. Happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you so much, Mr. Kessler, for this report. If there are any additional questions or concerns, please reach out directly via email. Moving to item number 3, meeting minutes. This is an action item. The minutes from our April 3rd, 2025 AFS meeting are presented for your approval. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to review them. I will look for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Adams, a second by Councilmember McMahon. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Nay. The motion carries. Item number 4, executive session. I have to entertain a motion to move into executive session.
Chair White.
So moved.
Just a reminder that we were going to move item 5 ahead of number 4 so that because that item was just presented for information and then we go into executive session.
We're going to pause. Thank you so much, Vice Mayor Davis. And we're going to move item 5 up, FY25 third quarter budget review. I'll turn this item over. Hold on one moment. So we're taking this out of order. The quarterly budget review on today's agenda is for information only. A presentation will not be provided for this item. The materials are included in your packet, however, and should you have any questions, please reach out to Tyler Olson. He'll be able to provide you any information and always gives us a comprehensive review. Now we will move back to agenda item number 4, executive session. I will honor that motion made by Vice Mayor Jimmy Davis. I need a second. Second. I have a motion by Vice Mayor Davis, a second by Councilmember McMahon. If you are an AFS board member, please disconnect from the open link and connect to the confidential WebEx link that has been provided. And we will now move into executive session. The public, we will reconvene shortly. Thank you.
Was that link emailed to us?
Yeah, yes, we did. Yes, Vice Mayor, and I will send it to you again. And Mayor Bratcher, you have the information to enter the e-session as a guest.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Can you send it to me again too? Pat?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
I will look for that link. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll let her do it. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure I saw her at the only one. Thank you. Thank you. There's still no audio. Okay. Thank you all so much for your participation. Now we will move to agenda item number 6 as we reconvene FY 2026 operating and capital budget information for Valley Metro RPTA and Valley Metro Rail. Mr. Ken Kessler, our Chief Financial Officer, will introduce and present this item. Mr. Kessler?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. I'm going to provide a brief overview of the FY 26 budget operating and capital. Going to focus primarily on those items that have changed since the last version. All the details are in the packet, but we're going to focus on the presentation on kind of where we're at now based on feedback from members. So first, just an overview of the budget. A base budget of $259.7 million, which is an $18 million decrease over the current year budget. And then those ongoing obligations like contract rate increases, along with new initiatives, the Valley Metro recommended initiatives coming to a total of $279.1 million proposed budget for FY 26 for RPTA. And this is just a graphical depiction of those new initiatives. For context, they're relative proportion to the overall year-over-year changes, and then the proportion of the new initiatives as a percentage of the overall operating budget for FY26. And then just highlighting here, showing the numbers in the operating budget by program. This budget, again, primarily driven by fixed route operations and demand services, about a $400,000 decrease from the prior version that we had presented. And then now going over those changes from the last version that we looked at. First, want to mention that we had started out with 21 requested positions for the FY26 budget. We have decreased that request by 7 positions. These are the positions that we have removed from the FY26 budget request. And then next, this table here shows of the 14 remaining positions that we're requesting for FY26. These are 5 positions that in-source work that we currently do through contracts. And this shows the overall contract amount and the cost of insourcing, and then the overall savings by bringing these functions in-house. And then next, of the 9 remaining of the 14 positions that remain in the budget request, these are basically positions that support our system growth and state of good repair work efforts for Valley Metro Rail and RPTA. And additionally, I did want to highlight the classification compensation study. In the last version of the budget, we had our original estimate of $980,000. As Penny, the HR team, has worked with the consultant to kind of refine the implementation of the class and comp study, and has come up with an estimate of $800,000. We've now changed the budget number to match that $800,000 that the class and comp team have come up with. And do want to mention that's slated for an October 25 implementation. And there is some dependency on where the merit and COLA goes in terms of where this dollar amount, this estimate of $800,000 will land at the end of the day. And then I did want to highlight those big items are really driving the year-over-year change in the budget. So these are the primary drivers, the biggest items that are resulting in that year-over-year change. And it's annual increases for existing contracts. We typically have a lot of multi-year contracts, and in there, those proposals build in year-over-year increases to keep up inflation and so forth. We're forecasting increased demand on our demand service based on current ridership trends. And then our van pool program is growing quite rapidly. So that's a positive thing. That's funded 100% with federal monies and the fares that are collected through the program. And then also those strategic plan new initiatives that I referred to earlier. And just to give a recap of those items that are driving the budget in terms of those ongoing obligations, this table here shows the dollar amounts associated with each of those programmatic items, coming to a total of $17.2 million of those ongoing obligations that are driving the year-over-year change in the budget. And then looking at the capital budget, no real significant change here from the last version, $66.2 million. Again, a regional fleet being the primary driver there, and the debt services, I believe I mentioned last time, that the service will come off the books as we pay that off in the coming fiscal year. And then looking at our 5-year plan, first on the operating side, about a $1.8 billion 5-year operating program for RPTA. Some very slight changes here that are really driven by those changes I identified for the FY26 budget flowing through the remaining years of the 5-year plan. And then similarly on the capital 5-year program, very, very minor changes from some very small impacts in the FY26 budget that flow through the 5 years. So with that, I'm happy to take any discussion on RPTA before moving on to Valley Metro Rail.
Seeing no questions, we'll move right into Valley Metro Rail. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to Valley Metro Rail. Again, the overview here showing a base budget decrease of about 1.4 million over the current year, with those ongoing obligations of $18.3 million and recommended new initiatives of $3.6 million, a total operating budget of $118.5 million. Again, about same $400,000 decrease or so from the prior version of the budget. And then the proportional depiction of the new initiatives to the year-over-year change, and then the proportional depiction of those new initiatives in the context of the total operating budget proposed for FY '26. And then looking at the operating budget by the main programs, light rail, streetcar, and agency operating, $118.5 million budget for FY '26. And then in terms of the proposed modifications, those changes from the last version are all exactly the same as what we saw in the RPTA presentation. So no need to revisit those slides here. So I'll just go on to the budget drivers, which are a little bit different for VMR as compared to RPTA. Of course, the opening of South Central and a full year operation of that and expanding to a 2-line system. The annual escalation for contracts similar to the RPTA budget. We have some bucket trucks that are needed in the FY '26 budget for maintenance of the rail system, and then ongoing utility rate and usage escalations, as well as the strategic plan new initiatives that are in the FY '26 proposed budget. And then similar table here showing those ongoing obligations, a little detail around that, showing the numbers, $18.3 million year-over-year increase as a result of the ongoing obligations. And then looking at the capital budget, again, very little change here from the last version, $114.2 million capital budget, primarily driven by the capital extension, future project development, state of good repair. And then looking at the VMR 5-year plan, again, very minor changes from the last version, $634 million 5-year operating plan for VMR. And then on the capital program for Valley Metro Rail, a little over $1 billion program for the next 5 years. Again, just minor changes from the last version that we reviewed. And that concludes my presentation on VMR. Happy to take any questions.
Opening up the floor for questions. Don't have any here in the room. I don't see any hands online. Thank you so much, Mr. Kessler, for your presentation.
Thank you.
And this item was presented for information only. Moving to item number 7, paratransit operator fitness of duty audit. We'll have Sabrina Beckstrom, our chief auditor, introduce and present this item.
Thank you, Councilmember White. We're here to present our findings for the operator fitness for duty audit for paratransit. This is a series of 3 audits, the first of a series of 3 audits. We'll also be providing an audit reports of the bus and rail operator fitness for duty next month at AFS. In this audit, there were no findings or recommendations. We did review driver qualifications, hours of service, and drug and alcohol testing. And we did that for all 3 modes as discussed, but this is the report out for paratransit that there were no findings. Are there any questions?
No questions in the room, no questions online. We can now move to item number 8, employee mileage reimbursement.
Chair, we need
Sorry.
a motion and a second to.
Oh, this
accept
is an action item, sorry. Forgive me, please. This is not for information, looking at the wrong. I'll entertain a motion to accept the paratransit operator fitness for duty audit.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember McMahon, a second by Councilmember Pastor. All those in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, nay? The motion carries. Thank you so much. I appreciate the guidance, and we'll move to item number 8, employee mileage reimbursement audit. We will also be taking action on this item, and it will be presented by our Chief Auditor, Sabrina Beckstrom, to introduce this item.
Thank you, Councilmember White. I'm inviting Larry Conrad, our audit manager, to present the results of this report.
Mr. Conrad, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee. I'm here to present the results of the employee mileage reimbursement audit. The objective was to determine whether Valley Metro had policies and procedures in place, along with other effective internal controls to ensure that employees are being appropriately reimbursed for their personal vehicle usage. The audit focused on employee mileage reimbursements for 17 months from July of 2023 through November of 2024. Internal audit, we determined that Valley Metro had mostly effective employee mileage reimbursement controls, but there's room for enhancement. Specifically, Valley Metro staff improperly claimed mileage reimbursements as they misunderstood the policy that's in effect. And it's a relatively small amount of mileage reimbursements, but it's important for us to enhance our current internal controls. The first recommendation had to do with Valley Metro reimbursed staff for normal commuting miles. There were a couple of employees that weren't familiar with the policy, and they included mileage to offsite alternative work sites, and they didn't deduct the mileage that they would have to the administrative office building here. And then second recommendation had to do with an employee that was using a personal vehicle from the administrative building here to an alternative job site and then would return here. And the recommendation is to first seek out a Valley Metro vehicle, and then if there wasn't one available, then obtain pre-approval from the supervisor to use a personal vehicle. Like I said, there were very small instances and it wasn't a lot of money. Are there any questions related to the audit?
The chair recognizes Councilmember Pastor.
Yes, in order to get reimbursement for mileage, is it from home or is it from the administrative office going to an offsite meeting? I mean, what do you get reimbursed for?
Okay, if your trip starts from home, you get reimbursed if you go to an alternative work site and then return home, but you must deduct the mileage for your normal commute. And there were 2 employees that weren't deducting their regular commuting mileage.
Okay, so if I'm gonna put 10 miles. I think this is how it works. 10 miles, but I normally drive 5 miles from my home to my work site, then I really should be getting 5 miles.
Each way, correct?
reimbursed.
Yes.
Any additional questions or concerns? I think it's probably the outcome here is going to be an HR answer to this audit question. So going forward, it sounds like we're going to put the right controls in place, and I appreciate this. I will go ahead and entertain a motion to accept the employee mileage. I'm sorry, prior to the motion, Vice Mayor Davis.
I just want to verify, all of the employees have received some training and guidance on how this should work. So these kinds of things don't happen in the future.
They haven't now. The policy is currently being revised. And then once the policy is revised, it'll be sent to all the employees of Valley Metro.
Perfect.
But it's a very small amount of employees that submit mileage reimbursements.
What is the amount, you said percentage of employees, what percent and how many people?
It's primarily for employees that submit them. And then there's a couple outliers for like one-time, mileage reimbursements, but it's a very small number.
Thank you for that clarification. Any
You're welcome.
additional questions, Vice Mayor Davis?
No.
Thank you, sir. Anything in the room? I will entertain a motion to accept the employee mileage reimbursement audit.
So moved.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Davis, a second by Councilmember McMahon. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, nay? The motion carries. Moving to item number 9, internal audit update. Our Chief Auditor, Sabrina Beckstrom, will present this item.
Thank you, Chair White. Larry Condrat will also present this item.
Thank you so much, Mr. Conrad. Love seeing you there at the podium.
And thank you, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee.
Vice Mayor Davis, your hand is still raised, sir. We don't want to ignore that.
You forgot to take it down.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't take it down. It's taken down now. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'll proceed with the internal audit update for May. Currently, as Sabrina touched on earlier, we have 2 operator fitness for duty audits that are still in progress for rail and bus. The final audit reports have been drafted and distributed to the business partners, and we have exit conferences set up for next week. The vehicle disposal process and contract change orders audits have recently kicked off. We've begun preliminary audit work on those 2. The IT change management audit, the draft report has been reviewed by internal audit, and it is getting ready to be sent out to the business partners. And the IT patch management audit is in the final stages. There's a little bit of follow-up work left to do. And then the draft report, or the audit report, will be begin the drafting stage shortly. The construction management contract audit, due to the South Central Extension grand opening and all the work that's being done, they're gonna back up their on-site visit a little bit to the middle of June. So they'll be here for 2 days in June doing their interviewing and reviewing documentation. ISSA, the internal safety and security audits, we recently finalized one and submitted it to ADOT. There's another one that's currently in progress that is being finalized as we speak. And there are 2 additional audits that have just begun, and preliminary audit work is just started on that. And the FTA triennial review, they did an on-site visit to the city of Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, and Valley Metro representatives were in attendance, and they were interviewed and presented some additional documentation. Okay, audit recommendation update. There's been a lot of progress regarding the outstanding audit recommendations. The 3 audit recommendations pertaining to the bus operator certifications and labor audit have been implemented and closed. And of the 9 outstanding audit recommendations in progress, I foresee closure in the next couple of months for all 9 recommendations. Are there any questions pertaining to the outstanding audit recommendations?
Thank you for giving us a forecast that 9 will be closed out in the next few months. Are there any questions here in the room? Any questions online? Seeing there are no questions, this report is for information only. Thank you so much, Mr. Conrad, and thank you to our Chief Auditor, Ms. Beckstrom, for all of your hard work and leadership in this space. Moving to item number 10, intergovernmental agreements, contract change orders, amendments, and awards. This item is for information only. All of our Audit Finance Subcommittee members have this information in its entirety in your packet. If you have any questions regarding this item, please contact Valley Metro staff. Item number 11, report on current events and suggested future agenda items. I do have one suggested future agenda item, especially after hearing all of our audit reporting and all of the audit information that happens to be out in the ether right now. I would like to have Ms. Beckstrom prepare information so we can understand how our audit shop can go through and when we'll be eligible for a peer review and that whole certification process, so our agency will become audit certified, and that we can not only share the great work that you're doing inside, but that we can be audited by an external agency to make sure that a peer would also agree. Any additional agenda items or reporting on current events? Seeing there are none, our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at noon. I would like to adjourn our meeting.
First, second. Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Pastor, a second by Councilmember McMahon, and we will adjourn by consensus. Thank you all so much. Have a terrific Thursday.